So welcome. This is the first time. So PREreview has been around. It was co-founded by myself, Daniela Saderi, Monica Granados, and Samantha Hindle. I believe Sam is here. Hey, Sam. In 2018. And this is the first time that we actually publish an official strategic plan. Due to capacity, this was not possible before. We're very excited to be able to share with the community about what we're thinking our primary and strategic goals will be for the next 3 years. And we would like to use this call to collect your input and feedback on how we implement these goals, and also like if you think these goals seem off or you have questions around them, we'd like to hear it. So we're going to move to that part. But as we move along, you can use the document or something else you have open in your computer to write notes and questions, so that we will come back to them at the end of this brief presentation. Okay. You can access this right here, but you also have the link in the chat, which is probably easier than the QR code. Okay, we introduced ourselves at the beginning of the call. For those of you who haven't seen us, this is us, our names, our roles. We are. I am so proud. We are a growing organization. This is the team with 5 full-time people and 2 part-time people, Maria, Saul, and Daniel. And this is our wonderful advisory committee. We are a fiscally sponsored project of Code for Science and Society. So therefore, we operate as a nonprofit via fiscal sponsorship, and we have a great advisory committee. Monica and Sam, co-founders. Well, I don't know why I said just Christopher there. Sorry, Chris. Forgot your last name in the slides. Chris Markham is our chair, and then Aurelia Munena is here. I saw you. Thank you for joining. Kristen Rattan, and then we have Lamis, Yaya Elkair, and Malvika Sharan and Christy Whitaker, who are just joined our committee as of like last week. So Lamis, I saw you're here. Thank you for joining us. We're very excited to have you all. Okay, so what are we trying to do? And again, briefly, we're trying to solve a lot of problems. So really, what we the primary problem that drives us is that we see that peer review and as many other things in the world, but including scholarly publishing in science, is highly inequitable, and as a model is unsustainable for many reasons. And at PREreview, we are trying to tackle some of these issues, but truly like challenging the status quo that too often centers the power of in the hands of publishers. So the power of research dissemination and research evaluations in the hands of publishers, rather than with those conducting the research and the communities meant to benefit from it. This is, it's kind of like the underlying problem that we're trying to solve. So peer review is often has too few reviewers that are available. But really, we think that there are so many more reviewers that are untapped. And what we're trying is to open up peer review to the whole community. We're not trying to gatekeep and to judge if you are an expert or not, but really allowing for everyone to have agency over their own expertise and share it with the world. So preprints are the main research output that we have been working on in terms of like platform and training. But we're moving into, as you're going to see, into providing tools and resources to really share feedback to other research objects that can be shared even before the final paper. And there is more that is going to come, but this is kind of the gist. And our approach, we're trying to be very people-centered and work really hard on creating and supporting relationships and connections with people. Here, I just pasted some of the faces from last year's Champions program. I saw Edelson, you're here. I believe I saw Rosario that joined. Some other research champions are here. So thank you for joining. And we really, in our programming, in our also platform design, we're really trying to think hard about and get input from the community about what are the issues, what are the barriers that prevent the community members from engaging into peer review in a way that really feels like it's valuable to them. And so we design open source tools that allow experts to contribute constructive feedback on preprints and data sets now. We train reviewers. We have many different kind of trainings. In the Champions program is kind of the most intense, so if you want, like a long one. It's a 6 month program that we have every year with 20 to 25 champions joining. And then we partner with globally to host collaborative reviews. If many of you I saw in the call have already been on live reviews when we review preprints together, and then oftentimes those reviews are actually part of the publication or the journal organized peer review with some of our partners, like Jamier Publications has been a consistent one for the last 4 years. Here's Rosalind, another champion joining us. So these, I believe, the platform review, actually, I'm going to pass it over to Chad.
Sure. Thanks very much. And as Danielle just mentioned, the platform is one of many things that we try to co-design and develop with our community members, hand in hand on this journey we're on. And PREreview.org itself, some of its hallmark features include just being an independent, free, and open source platform for preprint and dataset review, and for other modular review types, hopefully over the next few years, as we work towards enabling reviews of many of those early research outputs Daniela mentioned. We also offer folks the opportunity to publish publicly, or to publish their reviews using a pseudonym if they're ever worried about reputational harm or reprisal or retribution. We want to make sure they feel free to speak candidly and give the best, most honest feedback they can about emerging research. The publication workflows we use result in DOIs, CC BY licenses, and metadata being produced for the authors of those reviews. And the site as well is working towards increased multilingualism. So last year, we began localization and translation work that brought Brazilian Portuguese and Latin American Spanish to the site. And we hope to add 2 other languages this year, and then to continue kind of at that cadence, or even to get a little bit faster in the future. We have some integrations that we've developed with our community members, including an ORCID integration for folks who opt in. That allows us to push their peer review work to their ORCID profile, since we're a member and trusted ORCID organization. We support 31 preprint servers in a dataset repository right now, and are always looking to add more. And those are places we can pull those early research outputs into pre-review from, so that folks can review them there. We have a core notify protocol integration with 3 preprint servers. We would love to have more of these as well if you're interested. And this sets up essentially automated mailboxes between our sites or our servers or repositories, so that when authors deposit something, they can send a request for review that reaches our community. And should our community take up that request, we can send a notification back that a review's been published. We're also working in very lightweight ways with AI to help people find and review the information, the research that matters most to them. So we use OpenAlex tagging for categorization of things like preprint requests or reviews themselves. And all of these things we hope generate a lot of benefit for our pre-reviewers, including some recognition, as with the ORCID profile integration, collaborative review opportunities that bring people together with people who share maybe interests or geographical affinities, or linguistic affinities, to review and to connect with one another through peer review. We have training and mentoring that is connected to advancing open peer preprint review, but also using the site and helping others use the site to do those things. And there's also kind of these rolling opportunities through user research interviews, community calls like this, community design sprints, to give direct contribution to what we're building, so that it really suits the needs of our community members. Well, I lost my place. Here we are. And you can see over time, we think this approach is working out. It's paying off, especially last year. If you look at the graphs here, you can see our previews over time. The number of pre-reviews that are coming in each year is accelerating. And as we began our work on multilingualism last year, pre-reviews coming in Portuguese and Spanish also accelerated greatly. And so where we are today in 2026, we've got over 1,700 published preprint reviews from over 4,000 reviewers. We have those 31 repositories we support. We have over 4,000 requests for review coming in with a response rate still over 5%. That feels pretty good. We've got 131 reviews published in Portuguese or Spanish. Over 3,000 people subscribe to the newsletter. Our community members represent over 50 countries, and out of all of them, we've trained over 1,000 in peer review. Our Slack is at 750 members and growing, and pre-review clubs, which we support for collaborative review activities, those are at 45 right now, and three or four more in the works. So it's likely to hit 50 soon, which is very exciting. And all of these things we hope will help us continue momentum as we go ahead into the next strategic plan that we've drafted for 2026 to 2029. And there are some goals here I'll share with you and then turn it over to colleagues like Chris to get into. But we hope to expand our infrastructure for modular, discoverable, and integrated reviews. We want to continue growing a global community-driven ecosystem for open peer review. We want to broaden participation for just knowledge systems. And we want to amplify impact through shared leadership and sustainable kinds of growth. And then, Chris, are you next?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chad. Yeah, so our first goal is, well, as Chad's just been describing, we already do a lot, various integrations and things, but yeah, our first goal is to expand on this. So to expand our infrastructure for modular, discoverable, and integrated review. So we know that shifting towards an open and equitable peer review system requires community design infrastructure. So yeah, so we're working closely with the community. Some of you on the call today have definitely helped us so far produce these things, but we're looking at expanding what it is we do. So in terms of increasing the amount of reviews that we publish, but also the types as well. So as mentioned earlier on, moving beyond just preprints. So we're looking at allowing the reviews of various different early types of early research outputs. So we started with data sets towards the end of last year, but we're looking to expand on this. We're also very interested in partnering with places like journals or preprint servers or dataset repositories or any other type of place where early research outputs can be available to create bidirectional links between them. So yeah, this would allow kind of authors of things to be able to request reviews, which we have some integration with some preprint servers. We'd love to expand that number, but also creating this bidirectional communication, so allowing authors of preprints and etc. to know when a review has happened and to facilitate this as a conversation. And we're also looking at kind of helping kind of match when these requests come in for a review of something, that we can try and find the right person in our community based on the interests that they have. So this is obviously a common problem with journals and things, trying to find the right reviewers for reviewing an article. We're looking at, we have an open community of people willing to review things. Can we match the things that need review with the right people? And then hoping we do this in an open, equitable way that would allow anyone to be able to take part in this. Even people that haven't necessarily reviewed or published much work themselves, they can get involved through our open review platform. Okay, I think Vanessa, your goal too.
Thanks, Chris. And our second goal is also one that we already do and is a key part of our work at PREreview, but we're continuing to grow and expand upon a global community-driven ecosystem for open peer review. So this will be continuing to translate and localize our preprint and now dataset review workflows. So as Chris and Chad have already mentioned, we already have the website and our workflows available now in English, Spanish, and Brazilian Portuguese, and we're looking to build on this in the years coming. We do train and support a cohort of champions globally on an annual basis. We've just about reaching the end of our training for this year's 2026 champions, which is great. Looking really forward to what they go on to achieve this year. And we're also building on the champions program. So previous champions are now becoming mentors for the new cohort, and we're building on this network of experts that we have globally. We also host virtual and in-person community-led events, and we'll be looking forward to doing more of those and hopefully seeing you at more of those as well. We support the formation and sustainability of new pre-review clubs. So as Chad mentioned, we now have 45 pre-review clubs, which is incredible, who are also facilitating all of these wonderful collaborative reviews. So we're looking to build upon that. And if you have any questions about that, we're very happy to answer. And we're also looking to grow the number of reviews published in languages other than English. So sort of tying in there with translating and localizing our workflows and our other resources, we're hoping that will also enable people to be able to publish more in languages other than English as well. Okay, and I'm going to pass on to Pia for goal 3.
Thanks, Vanessa. So as we mentioned before, our goal 3 is to broaden participation in research and open research review across community and learning settings by co-designing and piloting new or optimized review models for research outputs that center the needs and lived experiences of these different stakeholders like patients, patient advocates, caregivers, and students. Also, to build platform features that foster belonging, recognition, and sustained engagement among reviewers. Just a note here that we are on a couple of weeks before our first design sprint to move along that way. And also to engage community voices from all of these sometimes overlooked segments of our community in storytelling pieces that elevate their voices, their perspectives as an integral part to research review and knowledge creation. For the first goal, I'll pass it to Daniela.
Thank you so much. And I want to mention that the strategic plan has actually quantifiable key objectives for each one, and I just removed that part for the presentation. But you can read the full plan on Zenodo. And so here's the fourth and last goal. As you can see, we are an ambitious team, but it's amazing to me how much we have accomplished. I'm positive that we'll at least advance 80%, 50%, 80% of what we're saying. I'm really excited. So goal 4 is to amplify our impact through shared leadership and sustainable growth. So everybody's in this community is always talking about like, yeah, how do you sustain your organization? Great question. I'm still trying to figure out, but we are still trying to figure out. But really, so far, PREreview has been mainly supported by incredible philanthropies support. So we've been primarily grant funded. Our current funder is the Gates Foundation. Ashley, I see you're here. Thank you for your support. And we really appreciate those grants and funding, and we hope will keep coming. But we also really believe that we need to build more diversification of funding, but also like not just because it allows for longer term sustainability, but also because we would like to create partnerships and engage with multiple organizations, including institutions and universities, so that we can get smaller support for them, but also develop those collaborations and get their input and learn more from those institutions and the researchers on the ground about what we need to do and what how we can continue to move forward towards a shared vision. And so we have, as I'm going to say in the next slide, like some models that we are developing and testing with some communities. And so then that will hopefully help us diversify our sustainability, our funding. And also the other thing is that we have with the champions, we're like, bringing more voices that directly kind of help us shape what we do. And those champions are helping us acting as multipliers within their own community, adapting what we're doing. We don't have a solution for every community. The community has the solutions already. And we would like to build even a more kind of governance structure that can allow for these strategic goals to be shaped in more directly with the community. So we're hoping to and we're going to work to build the community councils in different regions of the world. And we're going to start with a couple of key regions that we've developed more connections over the year, and hopefully build more decentralized and governance that can really inform and provide direct input and have a voice into how PREreview works. And so the organizational membership model. Some of you were in the call almost 2 years ago when we first did like learn from the community what you think that this model should be about. We have a model ready. It's not been published yet, but this is a model with different tiers that hopefully will allow us to, again, grow, to have those seeds that can grow into big forests that are diverse forests, and there are rich and sustainable forests all around the world. If you're interested in learning more about organizational membership, we're having kind of like conversations right now with members, and we'll have later on the year a more public announcement of the model. But we're still learning about how to best shape it. And that is it for our presentation strategic plan. Now we're going to spend the rest of the time to learn from you. So I'm going to stop the recording, but I want to thank you all for being here. And these are some links where you can join our Slack, subscribe to our newsletter, and follow us across a couple of social media platforms we're still on.